Well, everybody, I don't smoke, but you'll rarely catch me driving something without an ashtray. Driving an old car is wise for anyone looking to save and invest their money. You pay cash and get cheap and budget transportation. But these bulletproof, legendary, and hardworking vehicles mean more than that. As a matter of fact, many are priceless. And here's why. Have you ever done the type of road trip in a beater with a heater? Maybe alone, or maybe with a few good buddies, with the windows down instead of any climate control working. And when you get to your destination, you thank your good fortune that somehow it all worked out. And we sure remember the nights that it didn't quite as well. But I think that either way, we come out with memories and lessons learned. There's also something to be said about taking the back roads when you have the time, or you just don't feel like pushing your old car to keep up on the interstate. That makes the journey slower, but more deliberate and memorable. Every motion of the crank windows, the manual transmission, or the analog controls reminds you of a time that life wasn't all about speed and efficiency. And then there's all the scents that make you reminisce. Whether it's the smell of fuel reminding you of childhood road trips, your grandpa's old diesel truck, or your first time getting behind the wheel, maybe it's that old car smell that just feels like home. It's those scents of adventure and nostalgia of miles traveled, and stories you'll recollect and share over the years. Often I experience this firsthand by those that watch these videos, commenting your experiences, adventures, and fond memories, which is super cool and meaningful, and I love reading through them, and I know many of you do too. So if you have any cool or memorable stories, feel free to share them in the comments below. We all know that in an old car, breakdowns happen too, of course. But in an old car, a breakdown isn't always just a problem. Sometimes it is for sure, but it's also a moment that'll turn into a memory. Whether a cold night wrenching in the yard, or a chance to bond with someone, solving issues, or just laughing at your own misfortune. You'll also learn how to fix things with nothing but patience and a few simple tools. But in an old car, the bumps in the road become memories, things to look back on and smile, things to take pride in and reminisce as you continue driving your old vehicle that you've put your own blood, sweat, and tears into. And even just when you're appreciating that after all these years, it's still a reliable and loyal mode of transportation. So then there's the peacefulness, when you're not turning a wrench and your car's just running right and getting you around smoothly. Which is possible most of the time, besides what many people think about older cars. And then there's that serenity of driving around with zero screens, no alerts, or constant distractions. The mechanical dials and controls really give you a break from just another screen in this modern screen-filled life. And for some reason, those drives stick with you in a special certain way. You also rarely forget a trip in an old car. Every time you turn the key and press the gas, the story continues. Am I making sense here? Even simple drives feel like adventure that just isn't quite the same as in a new vehicle. Road trips with no destination, just cruising, watching the seasons change, and just taking in that different flavor of when the vehicle you're driving isn't just another mode of transportation, it's a part of the experience. I love those drives when it's the perfect temperature out. No AC, your arm out the window, the crisp fall air or summer breeze coming in through the open windows, maybe even a sunroof. Especially for me when I've got some good tunes playing that totally match the vibe. And when you find those small roads less traveled through tunnels of orange leaves in the fall, it feels like you're in an old movie. It's beautiful, it's cinematic. Learning about my old vehicles and their history also make me more interested in the history of towns, farmhouses, buildings, etc. Learning more about a time in an era when these vehicles that you rarely see nowadays were what covered the streets. You know that cozy feeling of being bundled up in the warm cabin of an old vehicle? Comfy seats, big windows through harvest time in the countryside, fall past the city park, or the silence of landscape with fresh fallen snow with nothing but the rumble of an old engine beneath you. A winter night with Christmas lights reflecting across the windshield and the hood of a car. Overall, the beauty of an old car framed in winter, summer, spring, and fall, every season, bringing its own set of adventures and fond memories with the people you love, or just in calm solitude. It's one of those things I'm all about documenting and sharing on this channel. And when seasons change, it's also cool how old cars force you to adapt. They make you plan for the weather and embrace it. You aren't likely to travel through the cold without winter gear in the case that anything does happen while you're traveling. Like you should in any car though, old or new. But in a way, challenges like that become tradition. Just like the recovered gear I always keep behind the seat. We drive our vehicles every day. They become tied to memories, to nostalgia, and to our lives in some ways. So old cars aren't just vehicles, they're history that creates memories and traditions. New cars cost a lot and old cars are usually cheaper, but old cars are priceless in many ways. They make ordinary drives feel extraordinary. And when you step back and think about it, that's exactly what makes them unforgettable and why they are still worth driving and keeping on the road today.